Hey guys, Dave Witchard, President FFL Velocity in the Charlotte office here, and had a special guest actually come in. We're doing a big conference here, and anytime we do those, we have a lot of different people come in. So I had a chance to grab my man here. Let me get this thing straight. See, I'm not the best at this. And you can tell it's been a minute. But used to do these a lot, and now it's kind of doing when I need to. But I have my man Jordan Lowery with me today. Say hey, Jordan.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Give him a big clap. Right there we go. The funny thing is, I remember meeting Jordan the first time, and he was just full of energy. And, it's hard to I tend to be like that, too. Like, I'm drinking caffeine all the time and stuff. And, just loving life and just being excited. And to meet somebody that's kind of like that all the time is pretty cool. I mean, he can be reserved, too. But it's when we're in the game, it's just like, you almost like, man, the energy's there. And that's Jordan. And I have a funny story, so I'm going to start it off with this because he's a great recruiter. Like every time I think about Jordan, he just always talks to everybody. And if you talk to people, like in my family, like, well, Dave talks to everybody in the elevator. He doesn't even know them. That's just how we were raised. Like we're used to that. And he's that person. To me, he's one of the other people like that, even more so in a lot of cases. I'm around him. He's talking to somebody before I can get to him. But he doesn't know this story, but I was in Vegas recently for a quick minute. And I'm in an Uber. And he does this all the time. I know he does, and I do too. And I literally, on the way at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever, on the way to the airport, I'm talking to this guy. And I'm like, feeling him out, doing my thing. And it's like, hey, man, we start talking, this, that, and the other. And we get back to, I always try to figure out where they're at in life and this and that. And I offer them, hey, what do you do? Right? I'm waiting for that. Right? You probably do the same thing. I'd love to hear how you do it. And so all of a sudden he said, hey, man, do you know Jordan Lowery? I said, yeah, he's one of my business partners. How you know Jordan? He tells me, oh, he was in an Uber just like this. And, we haven't talked, whatever. So he has both our numbers now. Like, it's like, cool. I said, well, I can't wait to tell him this story. And it was so funny, dude. Like, what are the chances, right? So it was in Vegas. The guy, I'm trying to remember what he does, but he was Ubering, younger guy. Pretty cool, but I don't know if you remember, but I mean, you probably do it all the time. But tell us, isn't that funny though? I haven't called you, and I was told him when we were about to do this podcast, I got to tell this story, but I'm literally in this car. It's early in the morning. And he goes, yeah, do you know Jordan Lowery? I go, yeah, I know him. I work with him. It was so funny. And so it was a while ago since you talked to the guy. I said, well, whatever. So he has our numbers, whatever.
Right.
And nothing, who knows? But anyway, talk about that because that's pretty funny, and you probably do that everywhere you go. But talk about people who are watching, they're brand new, and how maybe right now they're like just getting started. They're not sure what they have their hands on, right? But how important it is for them to talk to Warm Market, right? Share on Facebook, and really just talk to everybody they know because you're so good at it. Could you do that?
Yeah, and I appreciate you. Damn, what a small world, dude. What a small world. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, like, you just love people. You just talk to everyone you know. Like, you're not in the business of FFL. Like, Dave Witchard is not in the business of FFL. The business is inside of Dave. Like, he bleeds it. It is inside of him. And so one of the main things, like, I do talk to everyone because I remember it wasn't that long ago when I was still driving Uber on the way to serve tables. I would literally drive Uber for 2 hours on the way to serve tables because they came out with this feature where you could put in your destination of a general area you were going. So I'd work 2-3 hours before and I'd Uber because I lived an hour away. At the time I lived with my parents. Wow. And I was 25 and I would Uber, work, drive, and I would all the way there. And then when I'd get off, I'd Uber as well. I'd Uber home. Anything that's going east, I want to get paid to go. I want to get paid to go home. And so the reason I want to find out where people are at, the reason that I'm so passionate about talking to everyone I meet is I was waiting for someone to just be like, dude, I'm looking for someone like you. Like, you don't need to be Ubering. You don't need to be serving tables. You don't need to be working 3 jobs. You don't need to be doing construction when someone like you who loves people should just be selling life insurance, should be helping people with life insurance. And so what a small world that you got in that car. But guess what? There's thousands of them I've talked to and waiters. But, guess what? It's not. And you guys got to write this down. When someone says no to you when you're practicing and you're recruiting and you're working on your craft, they're not saying no. They're saying not right now. Because in their life, they haven't lost someone recently, or they don't need the money bad enough, or they don't want to be successful or change yet. And so don't burn those bridges. They're not saying no to you. And so don't take it personally. Start recruiting everyone because they're not judging you. We're afraid to be judged when we start, but guess what? They're not judging you. They're judging themselves. So continue to give them the opportunity. They're not saying no. They're saying not right now.
Man, that's good perspective for sure, and that's so true. And so the lesson there is continue to follow up, especially if they're warm market or somebody you know or you stay in contact with, right? Because you just never know when that can happen. Have you had that happen, Jordan? I'm sure you have, where in your business you probably had some people that a year and a half later. I mean, I know Nina Hayden, right? You guys work together, and I know they've had that happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
But could you talk about any of that where maybe you reached out to somebody and it just wasn't the time, and then later on it was?
Yeah, of course. I can talk. I can put a specific situation. You know, a friend of mine who's in solar had have every position in the solar business, from solar sales rep to a appointment setter to a broker dealer to starting his own company. And I recruited him for a year and a half. I was like, dude, you would kill it with your people skills. Why are you waiting 60 days, 90 days to get paid, dude? Like, why are you not working with me? And at the time, it just wasn't a good fit. Like, the commissions were growing for him. His business was growing. He had momentum. But what changed? Well, he lost someone in his family, right? When someone loses someone in their family, or, in another specific case, a guy I work with named Rich Stebnicki, they changed the commission structure on him, right? Or I can think of people where they didn't know anything about life insurance and they used it in their family, or they had someone close to them get sick or pass away, and they thought, I can do that. Like, I can help them with that. And so, what you need to do is stay good at checking in with people, invite them to hear about the opportunity, and invite them again in 60 days, in 90 days. Some people will want it to happen, and other people will it to happen and make it happen no matter what. And it's all dependent on their timing, because you're not recruiting for you. When I recruit someone, I'm not recruiting for Jordan Lowery and to make more money. I don't need to recruit them. I'm recruiting them for them. And so I was at a Greek restaurant today for lunch, and I was with my buddy Aaron Lyon, the guy at the cashier register. He was super sharp, and I was like, dude, is this a family restaurant? Like, how long have you been here? I've been here 4 years. And I was like, dude, like, do you see yourself being here forever, or are you open to a career change? And no one sees themselves being at the job they're at forever. 90% of people, especially if it's a restaurant business or something like that. So it's do you see yourself being here forever, or are you open to change? And that's really the way I like to phrase it.
Yeah. I do, like, I test everybody, whether it's a waiter or whatever, just, do you like being here, that kind of thing. Just throw those fishing lines out, right? And they bite sometimes, right? Right. But I think it's constant activity, just like if you look at insurance sales, talk about that. Could you talk about that, maybe the like how you care for a customer when you call them and you book an appointment, you're in the home, the same type of care of that client is the same type of care you're trying to bring an agent in, right? Would you say that the heart of that is the same?
Yeah, absolutely. They correlate, right? So same thing with booking an appointment for life insurance. The ones that you have to fight for, the ones that you have to overcome 4 rebuttals, and then they try to cancel, and then you write $3,900. You help them with $3,900 worth of premium, or you're able to help 6 people in the same home because you overcame 5 objections. Is the exact same thing when you're recruiting. Like, you're not gonna recruit someone 10 times better than you by saying, "Hey man, you should work with me." No, it takes time. It takes overcoming objections, finding where they're at, where their family is at. Hey, have you ever been self-employed before? Or have you ever been self-employed, or have you always been working for someone else? And digging into their financial situation of, dude, how much did you spend in leads? Like, how many dials did you make? What time did you start dialing? How many people did you sit with? The agents that you fight for and rebuttal and you posture up that they should work with you, that's what makes all the difference in the world. Is the ones you fight for will 10x you and 10x your business and your skill set, so you can do it again and again and again and again.
I love that. And your dad's in the business with you. Could you talk about the family aspect of it? John is good. I like being around John. He's a good dude. And I don't know how that even happened, but what would you say to the new people out there that are thinking, man, I don't know if I want to tell my family about it, or, really approach them about it? Is there a way that you would go about it or not go about it? Or is there a right way or a wrong way?
So there is no right way and there is no wrong way, because everything works a little and everything doesn't. Everything works and everything doesn't work. And what I mean by that is you could get the best recruit in your agency and the worst recruit in your agency from the exact same lead source, right? And so it's not the lead, but it's just like it's not the man, but it's what's the heart of the man. Like, and so recruiting family, my dad was a teacher for 30 years. He was a math teacher, taught algebra 2, college algebra, taught high school advanced math, was a coach, was a cross country long distance. He loved people. If there's anything to say, my dad was a tough teacher, and everyone knew that. But what did they also know is that he loved them. He would stay after. He worked 0 hour for 17 years straight. He worked 0 hour and after hours coaching. He was my coach for golf. He was a lot of things, but what he is he's a very, very smart when it comes to numbers. He's not a businessman. He's not a smart businessman, aka owning businesses, selling businesses, profit and loss, but he was very, very, very smart numbers and financially and teaching. And so what happened was originally is he wanted to step away from, he got his insurance license. He wanted to make part-time income on the side. He did that. And after a year, and as we all know, things have changed, right? Things have changed in every single person's life, whether it's a career change, whether it's a family change or kids, whether it's getting married, whether it's COVID, everything has changed for everyone. And so when he was done teaching and the landscape of teaching had changed, he decided he was going to go all in with this thing for us as a family. And he always says Lowery legacy. And so that's important to me because when he first came on, Dave, he was only trying to make, he was trying to replace his income. So a coaching income, a teacher's income, 60, 70, 80 families would have done that. And my mom, so he retired 3 years early. My mom just retired after 35 years of teaching. My sister helps with social media. She's going to be in the business soon, I'm pretty confident, because here's the deal. When you have nieces and nephews and you have, family that you take care of, it's only so long that you take care of your family before they're like, dude, you can't debate it. You can't, as Mike Killiman always says, man, you either got it or you don't. You're either a giver or a taker. So I think if you guys knew what I knew and you knew what Dave knew, is you would recruit your warm market like a grizzly bear going after a steak and he hadn't eaten and he just came out of hibernation. I knew I was going to be successful, so I wanted to put my friends, my family, people I was close with, Nina and Hayden. I knew Hayden because I listened to his training at my old company. I was obsessed. I slept to it. I listened to it. That's all I did. And so when you bring people on with that emotion, dude, you don't have ROP. You should be over here offering cash back to your clients. I didn't know it existed. How does it make sense? So when you recruit with that passion and you knew you were going to make millions and help millions of families, help thousands of families, help just hundreds of thousands of families, why would you not put your family on, even if it's part-time? So this is the greatest opportunity in American business, point blank, period.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. With the integrity factor, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think there's been, 8 partners announced this year and more coming, and I don't know the exact numbers, 24, 25, somewhere in that neighborhood. It'll be at 30 or more here very soon, and that's pretty cool. And if you don't know about integrity, make sure you look them up, but they're massive, and they want to buy profitable businesses, and they want to work with people that are like you, Jordan, that work hard and care for people and grow a big business. You got a massive business and it's coming, right? So I'm excited for you and your family and different things. And I think that you said something there. It was funny. Not that you mentioned your parents and taking care of them. Of course they could do it. My parents are almost 80 now. And I used to remember when we were growing up, I used to always have this thought of, my parents took care of me when I was younger, right? And I used to visualize one day they may need me to take care of them. Now, good news is my dad, did okay for himself. He worked for the railroad for many years. It's not like he's wealthy or anything, but he wasn't hurting. But I always knew that one day I was hoping that I would put myself in a position, if anything ever happened, that I could be there for him. And that's what Family First Life's given us, And there's a lot to be said. Like you said, money's not everything, but at the end of the day, it's hard not to have it. It's what we do with it that matters. So I'm just blessed to follow a guy like Sean Mike, who constantly gives back and gives back. I mean, you can't even outgive the guy. It's like, you walk around with him like, man, dude, what do you, like, you're following around and you're thinking you're giving money away. You're watching him. It's like, man, what are you doing? Like, it's crazy. And so it just inspires you to give more. So anyway, this has been fun. But anyway, just as we wrap this thing up, maybe, a few other thoughts you want to share. I think there's new people watching, hopefully. Hopefully this makes a difference. I think one of the things we got to tell people, like whether it's our friend, our family, whatever, look, hard work. We work hard, okay? Don't be afraid of that. Be teachable and coachable. Whether you start part-time or full-time, that's fine. But you find guys that, like a Jordan and, other people that are here, and we're here to help you. We just want everybody to win. But if any final thoughts that you have, about recruiting, about anything really, and I appreciate I consider you a brother, a friend, love you, and I'm just glad that I got this time with you.
Yeah, I love you too, bro. And here's the deal is you can't quantify what this will do in your life in the first couple weeks or months or years or whatever, because it takes time, right? This is a business. So if you've ever wanted to be self-employed or you've ever wanted to be a CEO or run a company or own a company, okay? This is not for the faint of heart. This is not a let's try to do insurance, right? Like, that's the thing. What's most exciting about this business is I don't know when I'm working and I don't know when I'm not working, because when my eyes are open, I'm living, but I'm working. Like, if they're open, it's open bell to close bell. Like, and that's the type of person that we're looking for, because this is not easy. It's a simple business. We call leads who request life insurance. We book appointments. We go and sit with them in person, and we shop around for what's going to be best for their age bracket and their health. If you love people like I do, like Dave does, like I remember, if you love people and you're not afraid to serve and work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week when you're brand new, then this is for you. So get on board with us. Reach out to us. You can get me on Instagram, jordan.lowery777. And I've never been more excited or clear where this is going to go. So if you want to team up with Dave and I, make sure you get a hold of us. Family First Life is going to $1 billion next year, and we will be a $2 billion, we will be a household name in the next 2 to 3 years. So get on board or get left behind.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, and if you bring the energy like Jordan does every time, you're bound to win. Having fun, and that's the thing. I love what we do. I love the people that I'm in business with, and the partners. That's what it's all about. And we're Mike Curry's in here, and in the office here, you got Jamie Chiro's here today. We got a bunch of great people here. Robbie Wells is here in the Charlotte office. But anyway, the bottom line is, if you get a chance, go to a meeting. We're going to be doing a lot of business opportunity meetings across the country. Matter of fact, 100 in a week, and this should come out by then. July 11th and 14th, just look, and all over social media, you can find something about this opportunity. I would get to one of those. So, and Instagram, at Dave Wichard, love to have you follow us. Here's the thing: we just want to inspire people. It's not about anything for me other than that. I just feel like I've been called by God. This is where I've been called to be. So everything about my faith it matters to me, and helping other people. So whether we work with Jordan, whether we work with Mike Curry, whoever it is, we just want you here in the right place, and we're gonna treat you right. We're gonna help you and help you win at Family First Life. And so we're grateful for the opportunity to talk to you today. So thanks, Jordan, for being on. I really appreciate it, bro.
You got it.
Thank you.